Hey there. Good morning. I'm so excited to be here with you. I've got some fascinating inquiries lately, and a lot of people seem to be interested in the afterlife. I know I have been for a good part of my life. When I was a small girl, I think I was maybe 7 or 8. Can't remember how old I was exactly, but my uncle committed suicide. And so it talking about what happens in the afterlife and being curious about what happens when we die has been with me for as long as I can remember. My name is Amirah Hall. I'm a psychic medium. I'm a clairvoyant. I'm able to see energies, communicate with the afterlife. And as a person that can see energy, I guess you could call me a medical intuitive. The bottom line is not only seeing the energy, but I get to clear it for you or help you and teach you how to clear your own energy, because that's how we come into alignment. That's how we get to create what we want. So I'm all about manifesting. I'm all about manifesting what we desire and living our best life. And I've been a psychic medium now for 23 years doing this work and teaching others what I've learned. I've been on the path for over 40 years. And, I guess the top 3 reasons why people are so curious about the afterlife is, one, the biggest fear there is in humans is the fear of dying. And I guess that points to the uncertainty of what happens when we die, because there is so many unanswered questions. Even myself, that I had a near-death experience 23 years ago. It's one of those things, actually it's 25 now, gosh, time is passing so fast. So I got to rewrite the script in my head, huh? Having had that experience myself and coming back and dealing with the depression afterwards, I'm not so sure I was happy being back in this body. In fact, I was angry for a very long time and depressed. I didn't really want to be here, because once you experience what's on the other side, you don't want to come back. So, I've often said to clients, look, if you want to die, and I remember speaking to a woman and she went on 3 times in a half hour about how she didn't want to be here. And my comment is, I'm not going to be here, the person to talk you out of it. And I don't mean that I'm encouraging suicide, not at all. I mean that I knew of a woman actually that tried to will herself dead, and she's alive today, and she's learned a lot. It was a spiritually transformative experience. So I don't want to go down that rabbit trail or hole, but bottom line is, being stuck in that really dark, low vibrational energy doesn't help us live our purpose and be here and live our best life. So I guess it's up to us to choose, how do we want to live? Do we want to live in depression? Do we want to live in grief or fear, and fear of the inevitable, that we will leave our bodies at some point? So for me, having that near-death experience showed me of what the universe was made of, and that I have an opportunity here to fulfill and to make the best of it. And it's up to me. It's all free choice. We're in this land of free choice. And I'm super excited. I'm not so sure I shared this yet, but I was invited to speak at the International Association for Near-Death Studies this fall at their big national conference. So I'm super excited. If you're able to join me, I'll put the link in the details below. And you can check out that. IONS has been a great support system for me. When I first started discovering or trying to figure out what happened to me back in 1998, I met some lovely people that Beverly Brodsky, bless her heart and spirit, she's made her transition recently, and bless her heart. She was one of the key people that was very supportive of me and helping me to accept my own experience and not to want to label it and, really minimize the experience in any way, but helped me to understand it. So I think that's one of the big things that many people who have had near-death experiences come back and they're not sure how to apply it. For me, my psychic abilities cranked up like crazy. Not to say that I wasn't psychic before, because I believe everybody's psychic, period. So I wasn't dialed into it. I wasn't acknowledging it. I wasn't trusting it and or using it. So that is key, I think, in realizing and really fulfilling our greater purpose and understanding who we are and then where we go after we drop this body. So, all along the way and working with clients, I was thinking this morning about this beautiful woman that came to me. She was working at the San Diego Union Tribune, the newspaper, and while I was living there, and she wanted to speak to me about the loss of her son. And so now this woman had gone to see Sylvia Browne. I don't know if you recall her. She's in the spirit world now also, but Sylvia Browne was a famous figure in the psychic world. And she wasn't so pleased with the message she got. But nonetheless, I gave her my best shot. And so what happened was her son came through and I saw him trapped underneath the water. And she told me that he was a Coast Guard and he died in a boating accident. So the next picture he showed me was himself on a motorcycle, and he just had it cranked down. He had no helmet on, and he was just roaming the planet. He was going everywhere, anywhere, and everywhere on his motorcycle without his helmet. That was a key point. And she just bust up laughing. She goes, that was his most favorite thing to do. And he loved and always dreamed of driving and riding without his helmet. And so that was key. And, this is what I call evidential mediumship, when you can give an actual indication that the person that you're talking to on the other side is the person. And so they will give me information to prove it's them. And so the loved one has absolute proof that that is them. The other thing he showed me, and I remember struggling with this, like, what in the heck is he showing me? He kept showing me his hair right at the top of his head. And he kept doing this. And he said to his mother, I like my hair. And she really broke down, crying and laughing at the same time. And she said, Amirah, he always struggled with a cowlick, a little swirl of hair there on the top of his forehead. And it always bugged him. He was always struggling with that. And she said, when I buried him, oh God, I'm getting choked up here. She said, I snipped that hair so he didn't have to go into the afterlife with that curl on his head. And so that story always touches me, because it was real evidence that that was him. And he was so happy, and he wanted her to basically know that he was there. He was with her at the funeral and witnessed all of that. So that was a powerful story. And just recently, I was speaking to one of my clients and doing the work we do. A big part of it is healing our pain and our trauma and connecting with our loved ones, if that's appropriate. Sometimes it's our guides. Sometimes it's just our higher self, and we've lost touch or connection with that. And so in doing the work, she was sharing with me that she had a lot of dreams lately, this past week. And I don't know about you, but boy, oh boy, I'm having some wild and crazy dreams myself. They're really active. So I know that Mars is in Cancer. I know that there's Mercury retrograde that's affecting our thinking and communication and all that good stuff. But in doing the work, we're really accelerating the process of healing and coming into alignment. And so she was sharing with me all these active dreams of her recently deceased son. And I said, oh, he wants you to bring on the popcorn. And she goes, oh my God, we were in the dream. We were at the movies. So that's another example. They touch in so eloquently and effortlessly, and they'll just be a snapshot or a snap of a moment that they're here. And you might get that sense where you get a feeling or a thought. Sometimes it's not your thought. It's actually them giving you an impression in your mind for you to realize it's really them. And so I am going to leave that with you today of really embracing more of who you are and allowing yourself to release what I call depression, that foreign energy that got stuck in your space somehow. That limits our abilities, our psychic abilities, our awareness, our ability to manifest and be in flow. And God knows that that's a good spot to be, right? I'm going to put the link in the description for my stress buster. Okay. It's called Stress Buster. It's not just for people that are just wackadoodle. It's for you. If you're not manifesting what you want, if your feelings are kind of dull, if you're not feeling enthused or sparked or inspired or curious or happy, then you need to do something about it. Right. Yeah, you can call me and we can do some energy work. The other thing is, it's really cheap and cheerful. This is my coloring book that I created some time ago. Vibe High. Sometimes the simplest thing, if we just open a coloring book and do some coloring. I think I started coloring in here in this book. Here we go. Yeah. I hope it's not reverse. I do what makes me the happiest. Simple little things, going for a walk, taking a bubble bath, or picking up some crayons and doing some coloring will raise your vibration. So I'll put the link for that in the description also. You can get that on Amazon. And so yeah, raise your vibes, vibe high and shine bright. That's my message for you today. I'll hope to see you again tomorrow, Thursday, is it? Yeah, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And if you're here still, give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friend, perhaps that's struggling with the loss of a loved one. And leave me your comments. I'm happy to answer your questions. I'd love to hear from you. So until tomorrow, shine bright. Be